When my wife Emily texted me late one evening saying, "Dinner with clients, don't wait up," I almost believed her. Almost. It wasn't the first time she had used that excuse, but lately, these supposed client dinners were happening far too often. The odd part was, she never mentioned who these clients were, and as far as I knew, her company rarely conducted business meetings after hours. That night, as I sat in the living room staring at her message, something on the side table caught my eye. A cufflink. It definitely wasn't mine. It had the initials CB engraved on it. I didn't know any Chris, but the name sounded familiar. I remembered Emily once mentioning a man named Chris from her office, someone she always insisted was just a colleague. That tiny piece of metal suddenly connected every doubtful thought I'd tried to ignore. I took a long breath and decided not to lose my temper or accuse her outright. I'd learned long ago that silence and composure reveal guilt far better than shouting ever could. So, I typed a message, "Tell Chris I want my shirt back." Then I hit send and waited. For nearly a minute, there was nothing. Then the typing bubble appeared and disappeared. Again and again. My pulse pounded in my ears. The silence that followed grew thick, almost suffocating. There was no denial, no confusion, no "what are you talking about?" Just silence, and that silence said more than any words could. After a few tense moments, my phone buzzed. "What shirt?" she finally replied. I almost laughed. Not the kind of laugh that comes from amusement, but the bitter one that slips out when a lie is so weak it's insulting. "The one he left behind," I typed. "The one that doesn't belong in our home." The message was marked as read. And then nothing. No explanation. No defense. Just dead silence. I could picture her perfectly, frozen at the dinner table, phone in hand, eyes wide, trying to piece together how I knew. I didn't, not completely. But her reaction confirmed everything I needed. Her guilt had already confessed for her. I set my phone aside, poured myself a drink, and waited. Emily came home around midnight, her hair slightly messy, eyes red, trying to act casual. "Hey," she said softly. "Sorry it went late." She wouldn't meet my eyes. I smiled faintly. "No worries." "How was dinner with Chris?" She froze mid-step. Her purse slipped from her fingers and hit the floor with a dull thud. "What, Chris?" "I told you it was clients." "Emily," I said calmly, almost too calmly. "Stop." I leaned back in my chair. "I found his cufflink. And you never mentioned why a man at your office was wearing my shirt last week." Her lips trembled. Tears welled in her eyes. She tried to speak, but no words came out. The truth was choking her, and she knew it. Finally, she whispered, "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is," I said quietly. She sank onto the couch, buried her face in her hands, and broke down. "It just happened," she sobbed. "I didn't mean for it to. He's been helping me with work, and we got close." That phrase, "and it just happened," and was the final nail. I'd heard those same words before, from friends whose marriages had ended the same way. I didn't shout. I didn't throw anything. I simply said, "You should have told me the moment you stopped being my wife." Her head snapped up. "Tom, please don't say that." But I wasn't angry anymore. I was empty. Done. I stood, grabbed my jacket, and said quietly, "You already said enough with your silence. Where are you going?" She cried. "To start a life where my trust isn't a joke," I replied softly, and walked out. The next morning, she texted me a long message filled with apologies, excuses, and promises that came too late. I read every word and replied with just one line. "You had your chance to talk last night. You chose silence." Then I blocked her number. That silence she'd given me over dinner was her confession, and my calm reply was the moment she realized she'd lost me forever.